All right, I'd like to welcome you guys to another Purpose Serve podcast episode. I have a really, really special person on this episode today. I have my friend Rick Paris, and I've literally learned so much from him from these recent encounters that we had. I probably reached out to you, I want to say, like 2 weeks ago, just about. Uh, yeah, and I was like on this weird knowledge quest of learning about the unconscious mind, the subconscious mind, and the conscious mind. And that's when I stumbled across you. And I watched a video of you breaking it down, and it literally like shook my beliefs and everything up. And then after that, I started going into your story like even more, man. And the one thing that I did want you to start off with is talking about your death experience, not your near-death experience, but your death experience.
Yeah, it's quite a bit different between the two. A lot of people don't know that. Even people who have a near-death experience don't know what happened to them, So once you go farther than that, you got conscious reality. It's like you got to see two circles. You've got physical reality and you got afterlife, or whatever you want to call it, right? So you got these two spaces. Near death is you get right in the middle. That's why you can see the doctors. You can walk around the hospital. You don't got to eat. You feel great, because this side is much more vast. The physical reality is a small experience, and this is so freaking big. Imagine if this in your house right now, you found a grapefruit, and every person on earth had their own universe, and their own universe was in this grapefruit. That's how big you are when you die and go to the other side. Like, that's how little this experience is. And it looks like it's so freaking big, like the universe is so huge. It's like this big to you when you get out of here. And you're like, damn, this is a little tiny thing I just experienced. So that space in between is where near death is. You don't really go through the light. You kind of like hang out. So you got extra power. You get extra superpowers because this one's pushing on you, but this one's dominating. When you go through the light, you just drop this, and then you're in a whole different place. And for whatever reason, I came back under my own will, or my own volition. And so
you even went past that, man.
Yeah, you leave. But you see, in near death, you frame your experience in the physical, because you still relate to the physical. When you get out of the physical, you don't relate to the physical anymore at all. Matter of fact, when you have many experiences in the physical that you live, and more experiences that you never live, because your consciousness ends when you enter the physical reality. You're the only observer of this small realm of possibility that's been created for you to have this experience. So you can have a gazillion, million, infinite amount of experience of yourself, but you choose and pick which things you want to see. But there's lots and lots and lots of like infinite amount of lifetimes to experience. So you don't really experience them all. So when you get out of it, what you do is it's like you got a feeling. Oh, I have a feeling. Oh, I got what I did back there. But you don't really think about my mom's or my dad or it's an experience that you experience. Since time's an illusion, it's like you go in and all of yourselves have an experience, and then you pop back out and you're like, damn, okay, I got to try. So you're back again. You keep going back again for your own fun, not because somebody made you or you got to learn some kind of lesson. It's not like that. You're here because you're an artist. Because outside of space and time, let's just say hell of people are looking at you in here and going, damn, that's scary as shit. You forget who you are. And then you like see something of yourself, and they don't even know what you say when you say, yeah, this grass is green and it smells this way. They're like, I don't know what you're talking about, but it sounds cool. I mean, you can give them the imagery, but they don't have the experience of the physical, because the physical, the energy's been stepped down so low, so baseline, that everything freezes. It holds its position. Thoughts hold their position. Emotions hold their position. So physical reality is a combination of thoughts and feelings. Not I think, therefore I am. That's the secondary experience. You really are something that feels, and then you learn how to think. You don't know how to think when you're born. That's something that you learn later. But you're really first, more than anything, receiving 100% of everything and feeling everything that's going on. That's why little kids, I mean, they don't have to have nobody change their diaper. They don't have to have anybody ask for food or water. It comes to them because you don't realize when you're in your most raw, vulnerable state, you still remember over here where I got everything I needed all the time. It isn't until I get here, all of a sudden I'm not getting everything like I used to. So physical reality is a different experience. So most people near death, they only experience the middle. They feel some kind of more powerful, but they got no idea because they haven't walked through the veil yet. It's like I tell people, you're in between the dining room and the kitchen.
Another thing that I wanted to ask you is, when you came back from that experience, what would you say like the first thing that came across your mind was when you entered, I guess, back into your body? And I actually, even like to backtrack a little bit, just tell the people of like the cause of your death and how long you actually died for.
I basically had to have something postmarked at the post office, and it was closed at 6 o'clock. And I was on the opposite side of the street, and I had to make a U-turn to get to the post office. There was like 2 minutes left, and I was like, there was like 20 cars to make a left-hand turn, and I was like, oh shit, I'm never gonna make it by the time the post office. So I literally took a hard right turn. I just parked in a handicap spot because I just was gonna run across the street and forget the signal. I was like, so I bolted across the street, got in the post office, got my thing stamped. I was like, fuck yeah. I come outside and I see the light goes green and everybody's coming. So I just start booking it to go. I'm like, oh man, I can still get across the street without skipping a signal. So I start flying across. I'd go through the first 3 lanes. I jump over the island. I go and I see headlights coming because it's getting dark. But I'm like, oh, that's far enough. So I just sprinted faster. And right when I got like the last lane before the sidewalk, since they had a green light and the right lane was open, the cars were already doing 40 miles an hour. So by the time I got right there, the car was like 5 feet away from me. And I was like, oh shit. And I just remember slow-mo, everything went slow. And I was like, okay, I got to roll because I'm going to get hit. If I try to stop running, I'm going to get run over. So I got to try to jump. And I remember thinking, oh shit, I'm on my wrong leg. I need to be on my right leg. My left. Jump hard. Oh, fucker, jump hard. And I just jumped and I spun. And right when I spun, I saw the car hit me in the knees and the car just started bending around my body. And I was like, oh, I got this. I got this. This isn't even hurting me yet. And then it slammed me on the hood and I saw the hood just buckle all around my body. And I was like, I got it. I got it. I got it. And then I hit the windshield broke and it felt like I fell in a mattress. I didn't even feel the windshield. And then all of a sudden, the roof hit me in the back of the shoulder. And when the roof hit me, it hit me so hard that it just snapped me. And all my last thought was laughing like, damn, that's the hardest I ever been hit. You know, man. So I kind of know how to do stuff. But when it hit me, I just died instantly. And then when I was dead, I realized what had happened. And I was super pissed because I could see how close I was to really understanding physical reality. I mean, I was already a practicing shaman for about, 15 or 17 years. So I knew a lot about everything that I needed to know, enough to keep my consciousness. So I didn't lose my connection to myself as I died. I wasn't like, oh, what's going on? I was like, shit, I just fucked up. And
oh my God.
And I said, reality, and see, because I knew a lot. I was like, reality is an illusion. It's a vibration, nothing existing. So that means I can go back. And I said, okay, I'm going to go back, but I don't want to be born again. That sucks. I don't want to forget. I don't have time to go through another incarnation. I'm thinking this. It's not really true, but I'm thinking this. At first, I'm tripping. And then all of a sudden, I start realizing what's going on, and I start remembering who I am. And I'm like, okay, I couldn't go back because You see, you have to have a profound physical experience. Profound meaning that I understand I'm a God being creating reality 100%. Nobody's at, you got to have a lot of construct in your subconscious mind ahead of time. Because once you have the revelation that you are a God being here, you're not dredge of the earth, you're not a sinner, you're not a shithead, you're not dumb, you're not none of that. You're a God being trying to figure out how to be creative in an illusionary environment. Because when you don't have a body, you don't need to create anything. Everything's in your kind of like, you're just more fluid. You don't have to make stuff change. There's no time. It doesn't matter how long it takes you to do something because you're not really thinking like that. You're having an experience. So when you come here, your experience is literal. It's like reflecting back to you. So you've got to understand that you're in charge of it 100%. There is no God. There is no Jesus. There's no fucking Buddha. There's nobody. It's you, only you having an experience. So when you really not only understand it, you have to ingrain it and operate that way. So what happens when you have this enlightened perspective, and I call it, it is enlightened. That's what enlightenment is. To understand I'm a God being and I'm not a victim here, and I'm not a shameful, miserable excuse for a human being or whatever, you know. So I had already healed all that. So what it does is because you finally understood why you were here. Everybody's here to have that realization, whether it's now, whether it's 100 lifetimes from now. They're not linear anyway. You jump around the matrix according to what you feel like doing. You could go to an Egyptian lifetime after this. You can go to a Mayan lifetime. You can go some other fucking place somewhere else in another world. You can go anywhere in the physical experience when you understand how to choose where you want to go. The problem is you don't have a triangulation when you die. If you don't have a profound understanding here, what happens before you come back to the physical reality, there's a place in between. It's like it's called a causal plane. You have a place that you make your choices and you go in, and that's the reality that you experience. Once you had a profound experience here, when you look into the realm of possibility, imagine metaphorically you're sitting on a beach and you see all the waves coming in and you see the swells moving around. That's what it looks like when you come back, you're like, okay, which wave do I want to ride? Well, if you had an enlightened experience in a lifetime, and see, Buddha and Jesus, they weren't enlightened because they didn't come back. You would have experienced them coming back and being a different person. Jesus came back for like 3 days and then bailed again. You know what I mean? It's like you don't really leave again because you have another experience. And once you have two experiences in a row in the same body, reality makes much more sense to you now. You had two experiences. Until you have two of something, it's not a pattern.
So I would like to ask you something. If somebody, I guess, like in regards, like are starting to challenge like their belief system and I guess their ability to create and have I don't even know how to even put this. Like literally like what you were just talking about, they believe that I don't like my life sucks. I'm destined to be doomed all my life. How can somebody break out of that like dogmatic thinking that they have into like I guess free thinking of like I can do or be whatever it is that I'm truly trying to do?
Where was I now? Can you remind me?
So pretty much I was asking you about like people like who got like a depressed kind of like mindset and feel like they're not like a creator like this universe we're living in.
So what happens in order, let me just finish, I know what I was at now. To come back, you have to have a profound experience. So when you look at the realm of possibility again, when you come back and you're at that place where all the waves are coming and you had an enlightened experience, it'll be a tsunami. You'll see that lifetime stand up because you haven't woke up yet. Waking up is a lifetime thing. It's not like this lifetime humanity's waking up. No, you're waking up in the biggest picture of all. And so you're making it look like, oh, reality's waking up right now. I see what's going on, right? But it's really not like that. You're actually waking up for the first time. And so it looks like everybody's trying to wake up and it's so hard and everybody's doing all kinds of stupid shit because they're all locked in patterns. So once you've had an enlightened experience, it's now you have an anchor. You have a place to come back to. Because every time you come back, it's an infinite amount of realities, infinite. How do I find my last reality? Well, if it doesn't stick out in the ocean, I don't know how to find it again. So you keep coming back trying to find your connection. And so people that think their life's a mess, it's because you have to have resistance in physical reality for something to happen again and again. So if you make like a mistake or you don't figure it out, you're going to go after the best way for you to become enlightened. And if you think that, if you have a belief in your subconscious, or better said, in your unconscious mind, that love is martyrhood. In order to really love somebody, you got to suffer and sacrifice for them. And if that's what you define love as,
that's what it's going to be.
You're going to have one lifetime after another where you're suffering and struggling. And you'll do many lifetimes that way, because it takes you so many times of suffering to figure out that I can't be a martyr anymore. But see, go ahead.
I don't mean to cut you off, but another thing that just even like triggered me with even you saying resistance. I just asked you about resistance. I think yesterday, I believe it was, and it's what's the whole point of resistance, and why do we have those boundaries? Because a lot of people, especially myself, used to look at resistance as a negative thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
When it's just that's not even the case. And I started even thinking about how
it's seeing yourself as a sinner. It's not the case. But if I only see things like that, and I hold the belief reality is going to look like that all the time, because I'm the one that holds the belief, I can't get out of that paradigm until I recognize it, understand it, forgive myself for how long I've been doing that shit, and make a new choice. And you were saying earlier, how does a person get out of that? A person won't get out of that unless they understand this very important piece. And that is, when you're developing as a child, your parents are programming you. Let's say parents, even though that's my reflection of authority and that's how I'm relating, is my parents are really me trying to understand authority, and then I pick these people to be authorities over me so I can learn. So what's happening is you cannot supersede yourself with the same belief construct that you come in with. But you see, we don't think we have any other ability. That's the way I was raised. That's where I came in. I'm Catholic, or I'm whatever. I'm a black man. I'm a this, I'm a that, and that's what I was dealt. No, that's what you chose in order to find yourself the easiest possible way. So you create the environment naturally that's going to teach you how to get it. Now, if you've had a bunch of lifetimes, I keep suffering, I keep doing that shit, you'll keep creating more resistance each lifetime. You'll make it harder and harder and harder, because what's happening is the resistance, I'm not reacting to the resistance. So I'm not understanding that I did that. I'm the one that created that environment for me to grow. But as long as I think I didn't, and I'm a victim and I don't like it and I'm pushing away from it all the time, I can never change it. Nothing changes till you do. You have to be the person that recognizes, oh, this is what I'm meant to be. This is what I wanted to be. Like all these people, people get mad at me all the time with the gender thing. I'm like, I want to change my gender. That's a waste of time. You're just going to make it harder to figure out who you are. You came here as a man. It doesn't matter how bad you identify with women. Your choice was to come here as a man. But see, they don't think they chose that. I never would have chose this because I really feel like a girl. It's like, you're just confused. And people get mad when I say, you're confused. You're trying to change your gender because you're confused. It's not like, but because we don't want to tell anybody they're confused. We don't want to tell you, okay, if that's what you want to be, good for you, go be it. But you're not going to find yourself very easily that way, because you're creating more resistance to who you are. And so you don't realize these choices to do something, try to be something else, are painful, because what that choice, you're basically denying who I am and trying to find myself in another way. But it all comes from the denial of self. So everything after that in my life, I'm going to be going down the wrong freeway. I'm trying to go to LA. and instead of going south on the 5, I'm going north. I'm like, I don't care. I'm going to get there anyway. Well, yeah, if you go all the way around the world, you probably wind up.
No, seriously. Like for me, like personally, in my personal experiences, like I started developing like the beliefs of the collective around me, and then really like holding myself to that. And
Okay, stop right there. You did not believe. Okay, this is the most profound thing I could possibly ever to say, and it's a simple sentence, and everybody doesn't get it for many years until they get it. But belief precedes experience. You think the collective is influencing me and making me change my mind. No, the collective is a reflection of the part of your mind you're not even aware of yet. Once you understand, oh, that isn't the collective, that's me. That's me thinking that way, and the collective is trying to tell me that I think that way. So if I don't change, I can't change the collective.
It's like no matter what, the environment is responding to what we feel, how we think, and what we believe first.
Always doing the best thing for you.
No matter what.
Even when you perceive it, I'm getting fucked right now. I'm getting fucked so hard. What the hell? It's like, because you're not getting it, so you're pushing yourself harder than ever. You're trying to put yourself in such a disarray that you will like learn. You got to learn. And the thing is, you get desperate inside because you're in pain denying who you are. So you start getting desperate, and because you think no pain, no gain, you put yourself into a painful situation thinking, I'm going to learn from this. Yeah, you'll learn from it, but people don't need to grow through pain. But most everybody thinks so. They think, yeah, you know, pain's how you grow. That's how you do it. Well, if that's how you do it, that's the way it's going to be for the rest of your life till you can recognize a way to get out of it. I don't have to be in pain. I could grow even better through joy. I can do better through happiness. But, you know, pain, it's better than nothing, but it's the least possible way for you to grow. The least elegant, graceful way. Nature never makes a mistake. Nature always knows what it's doing. If it's attacking your tree out front with 1,000 beetles and you think, oh, I got to get rid of those beetles. No, your tree's dying, and the beetles love the way it tastes when it's dying. So nature's just incorporating that thing as fast as possible while it has value to something. Nature's always doing the right thing. So when your universe is pushing on you somewhere, the ideal thing to do is go, what belief would cause this experience to be happening? Not because you did it, because you did this and they did that. Everyone's going after control right now, trying to control each other, instead of recognizing like, oh, wow, I'm thinking like that. I got to change that. It's painful. Is that making sense?
No, that's making a lot of sense. I mean, for a lot of this stuff that we even talking about, I feel as though people like literally need to get like beyond themselves. You know what I mean? In order to understand what's really going on. That's the only way to understand what's going on. Because if you only look at it from, you know, your limited perspective, you really won't understand it. You're going to be confused and you're going to be lost. The best way to look at it is to me, I just say it's like an observer. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. You're an observer of your own beliefs. All you're doing is observing your own beliefs, no matter how fucked up they look. Those are your beliefs, and you can't push off of them. The minute you go, "Ooh, I don't like that person. I don't like what they're saying. I don't like what you're stupid. You're part of the problem." It's like you already can't fix the problem now because you separate from the problem. It's like, you know, that don't mean I gotta go get along with those people either. Right. It just means that I got to change the way I see this situation. I got to own that. I got to own what part of that. What's making me so mad about that? Why am I judging them so hard? Why if somebody doesn't use their blinker, do I freak out in the car like crazy, like a crazy person? You know, you're like, why am I acting like this? Because it's the only safe place somebody could be angry. So they create a reality that somebody doesn't put their blinker on just so they can lose their shit. So by the time they get home, they might not yell at their kid. You see, they don't realize they're creating stuff out of their belief constructs. It's not the other way around like we think it is. It's not. Your beliefs are beliefs are precede all experience, not just your world and the way you see it. No, the whole world is a function of your beliefs. And see, nobody's come back twice to tell you this. I know now. That's why my life is very magical, very fun. I know America is going to be such a rocking place in the next couple years. As soon as they, as soon as they go back to the Constitution freed men. And now it's been infiltrated by people that don't like our Constitution because they want to control human beings. And our Constitution frees the human spirit. We are ready to, right now, see, you're not going to move into 5D like, oh, one day I'm going to wake up and the ascension's going to happen and it's going to be a different world. No, it's going to get shittier and shittier if you don't understand that I got to change it. And then you're going to see your next door neighbor living a dream. And yours is going to get worse every day because you don't understand how you're creating it. So the resistance is going to get higher. And what's happening right now, reality's splitting. There's so much pain right now between people that understand what's going on and people that have no idea what's going on, that the reality has to split now. It's going to split, and some people are going to go and have amazing, beautiful experience, and other people are going to have their nuclear war and shots and eugenics, and they're going to have that somewhere. Somebody somewhere is going to create that reality. So it's not crazy. Like, oh, everybody's going to be good. 5D is not going to happen if you don't consciously engage. The environment has been set up for you to be more of the God being than ever before. But that's why your problems are going to be exacerbated faster than ever. I have a problem, it's like getting worse. I mean, I don't even have time to sit back and another problem hits me, because reality looks like it's getting faster. Because you're progressing, time is illusion, but your growth is not. So you are outstepping time in a sense right now. You're like moving faster, but you're not going to get an ascension. It's got to be a self-authored ascension. When you reached puberty, you got an ascension. The child went to a whole nother place and it was a whole nother experience. But like I said before, if you can't move most human beings, don't matter how old you are, or what I label as adaptive adolescence. They're teenagers that learn how to act and learn how to talk and learn how to get through.
Oh, you cut out there a little bit. Can you hear me? Reporting live from California, man. We're reporting live from California. Listen, through the technical difficulties, we're still remaining persistent through it all. Nothing's going to stop us. It doesn't matter. Now, can you hear me now?
I got you.
All right, boom. Thank God. Oh, my Lord. Listen, for anybody that's out there, man, that's trying to figure out their way in this world, what would be the first thing that you suggest that they should start becoming aware to?
Oh, the most important thing you can do is recognize that in order to operate as a spiritual adult, you have to have your own unique operating system. It can't be church. It can't be your parents. It can't be school. It can't be anything that you were given along the way to get you to adulthood. There has to be a line in the sand that you're going to be someone else, in a sense. But you see, you've got to operate emotionally, not thinking all the time. That's not going to help you. Your thinking is important. I'm not diminishing thinking, but that's not the primary. What makes you happy in life are good feelings, not good thinking. Good thinking can create good feelings if you're doing it well, but if you're having a crappy time, that's because you're having bad feelings. You're not even understanding where the bad feelings are come from, because thinking and feeling are always together. One never goes without the other. If you have a bad thought, a bad feeling, you can guarantee you just didn't hear the thought, but you had a thought that made you feel like shit. So you got to recognize that thought in order to change that experience. You got to catch it, because once it's a pattern, you don't hear the thought anymore. You just have the emotional experience. And then you usually get mad at somebody who made you think that. Like, you don't want to make me do that. That's not really true. So the most important thing is you have to have a set of values. A person of character has a set of values, and integrity is the amount that I adhere to my character, to my ideals. See, everything in your body right now and everything in your mind has been given to you while you were developing, by church, by school, by parental authority figures, etc., coaches. These value system doesn't really make you happy emotionally. It's a value system you adopted, so there's no emotional attachment to it. It's like, this is what I got to do. See, like most adolescents, adaptive adolescents are an amalgamation of all the people they like in the world. Like, you know what? I love Worthy. I'm going to be just like Worthy. I'm going to be just like Magic Johnson. I'm going to be just like President Trump. That I'm going to read about it. I'm going to act like I'm going to do what they do, and I'm going to be happy. So the adolescent goes after it because that's the way they think they're going to do it, because their whole life that's how they did it. You have to learn something. You have to find something. You have to go after something. You have to go after something before you can have what you want. They don't even know what they want, but they know what they need to get there. So they always go after this instead of the dream. You got to pick a dream, and the way you know it's a dream is if it elicits very high level emotions. Like, I'm so excited, like you do in your radio show. I love communicating. I love it so much, I'm going to have a talk show. And then you love your talk show because you love communication is the value that you'd be experiencing, for example. So if I said a communication is my number one value, and you only need one value to get over the line between adolescence and adulthood, but you must have at least one thing that turns you on, that every time you make a decision in your life, you have to say, is this going to make communication better or worse what I'm about to do? If it's like, yeah, but if I just shut my mouth for 6 weeks, I'll make a lot of money, and then I'll be able to do better later. So I'll just shut my mouth for now. See, that's the way we do things. It's like, no, you got to look at it and go, if it doesn't allow me greater communication, greater intimacy, whatever I'm looking, I have to say no. No matter what it looks like, because I won't have any good feelings for the next 6 weeks while I'm pursuing something else. So
I literally,
huh?
my fault. I literally was just talking about what you like are describing, because we talked about this on Sunday, I think it was, and I talked about it in my last podcast that I did that you brought up to me in a conversation that we had, and how like pretty much it brought me to a level of understanding of, instead of looking for people and things to get things done for me, I'm that person that could just do it myself. You get what I'm saying? And that creator kind of mindset is something that I talked about in my last podcast, and these like these profound ideas is from had the conversations, you know, that I had with you, and I was let my listeners know that, you know, on the previous podcast episode, so to even have you on here and describing it right now, you know what I mean? It's pretty cool, man. It's dope.
You won't be able to change your life in a significant way if you're using an old operating. It's like, you know, if you got Windows 2000 on your computer, you can't get shit done. That's for the human being. I got input. I came in Windows 2000, got a new computer, and now, you know, 20 years later, all my input doesn't work for me anymore because I'm grown, I've changed, but my operating system didn't. And now that I understand myself better, I got to write my own operating system. And see, they don't know that. An adult operates out of their own set of ideals, not something somebody else gave me.
Right.
So that's the most important thing that'll move your life into a positive direction. And it's not that hard to do, but it needs an awareness that I can't get there with what I was given.
No, it's like, it seemed like it's just like, you know, it's impossible. And even with, like, for example, those mindsets and those beliefs that we adopt, it seemed like it only serves us temporarily until we meet that next thing that's like, we're going to need a grander, more like thing. But it seemed like it's a knowing, man.
All beliefs are false. It don't matter. Even your very best one is not real. It's just it's a paradigm I'm working within. So if I don't understand how to change the paradigm, I can't change the environment. So it's like, yeah, I have to learn that any feelings of resistance that I'm having is because I outgrew the space I'm in, and now I'm feeling stuck. You're supposed to go, oh, I'm stuck right now, so I got a limited perspective the way I'm seeing the world. So if I could open that, if I could put myself, I'm like a little plant, and I'm all root bound in a pot, and I can't grow anymore because there's just nothing left, but you put a man that grows like, and then a bigger pot, and then you finally got to put it outside because it's too big. It's like all beliefs are false. So just pick the fucking best one that's going to kick ass for you. because eventually it's going to run out of room no matter how great it seems today.
Nah, you're absolutely right. And so with that being said, we're going to wrap up this week's episode. And Rick, I really do appreciate you for being on the show. And for those of you listening, how would they be able to find you to get in contact with you?
Well, I don't really tell them that.
And I know why.
On YouTube, and you can watch some videos. Conscious Reality Creator.
Conscious Reality, yeah.
And so, you can talk to me on there. I answer everything. I check it every couple of days. I answer all the questions. I do everything. If you got a negative comment, I'll be deleting that shit really quick. So I don't deal with that. I'm just here to share. Ain't no reason to attack the messenger. I'm just telling people something new that they never probably heard before, because I came back and being outside the set made me understand everything that was going on in here now. And so I just share. And so, yeah, I don't make it that easy to find me, but it ain't that hard either. But I want people to do a little effort to try to get me if they want to talk to me.
And I'm not even going to spill the secret. I'm really not. But he's absolutely right with what he's saying. And for everybody that's listening, serve your purpose. Rick for sure done his for 2 lifetimes, man. And thank you again, Rick, for being on the show. I really appreciate it, dude.
Yeah, man, I'm enjoying it.
Thank you. All right, you guys have a good one. Thank you for listening.